Welcome to the Pillar of Salt podcast. As we travel through the world that is Sodom and Gomorrah, we turn around and turn to salt.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're a pile of salt.
Just nothing left. Just
Yeah,
sodium.
so this new podcast is, we have no topic, we have no plan. So,
I mean,
heads up.
we're going full spaghetti cast, baby. Get ready for awkward stories of public self-pleasure and the whole rest of it. Yeah. I mean, I had a plan coming into this. When you said there's no plan, I knew immediately what my plan was, and that was like 1/3 Magic the Gathering, 2/3 World of Warcraft, and like 1/4 being tired.
Being tired is all. That's all I am now. That's all I am. That's not true. I'm like half. I'm half tired, half Magic the Gathering.
See, I'm half tired, half World of Warcraft right now, which is probably a better thing to be tired for. Like, you could just be tired and just do quests, and it doesn't take effort. Like Magic, you have to think, and then you mess up and you feel bad, but then you go again.
If I'm blathering, I really don't feel bad. As I was talking in the Discord today, I'm pretty sure I've like fallen asleep in the middle of a Magic match and then like woken up and just queued again, just because I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
He's like, but I could probably do one more. That's probably
I can hang.
I can do one more, even though I like couldn't keep my eyes open that last match.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the killer is, it's like, I'm tired. I could keep clicking if my opponent's acting quickly, but when I have to wait for them, then
then you're dead.
because then I'm like, oh, I'm waiting. That means I can close my eyes. You don't need me for this.
Unbelievable.
So that's less than optimal.
Yeah.
Look, the important thing is I didn't time out in this Magic Open like I did in the first one. Because I wasn't playing a deck where the games took for fucking ever.
What deck were you playing again?
That was when Jeskai Luka was the only deck you could play.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Because that deck was so busted. But the matches were just like slugs. They just took forever.
Yeah.
And I was winning them, but
Slowly.
I didn't keep good enough track of my time, and I lost a match.
Yeah.
Because I just ran out of time. So that was pretty disappointing.
I have had...
That didn't happen this time.
I haven't lost track of my time, but I definitely have had that happen once where my opponent clearly did not notice his time running out and I won. It's only happened once, but it was amazing. My greatest victory to this day.
It's happened to me a bunch on Magic Online, because that's always like you don't have like rope, you just have a chess clock.
Yeah.
But that was the first time it happened to me on Arena.
Mm.
I didn't know that if your timer runs out, you just auto lose.
Yeah.
That's not how Magic works in paper.
Mm-hmm.
But
man, it still blows my mind. I like so many people like Arena came out, and I understand that like you can do other things on Magic Online, but there were so many people who are like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to online for standard and stuff. Like Arena's just whatever. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? Like,
I don't know. Like the people who
standard, if you're playing,
I've heard so many weird opinions about online. So
yeah,
but yeah, I don't. If you're invested in online though, you're not really like if you're a person who's good at Magic and really invested in it. Like theoretically, you're not putting any money into that game at this point. You like
earned enough tickets
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cards that you're just like trading your value. So like people who are that deep in, I get it. Like it would actually cost them more
Yeah,
money
I
to get
suppose.
the cards on Arena. And again, you can get the cards on secondary markets, so they can like that feeling of just acquiring the cards you want and not have if like not having go through like the collecting rigmarole that you do on Arena, which I just like
Well,
doing because I part of what I like about Magic is just the collecting part of it.
yeah.
If it were just the playing part of it,
I
maybe
mean,
I would just
I could-
prefer the.
what would people?
But I like to have all the cards because I like to play all the decks. I like just
That's dude.
I like
again,
moving from deck to deck.
I've thought about it before, like, and it still might happen someday down the line. Just drop like a one-time shitload of money on Arena, catch myself up, and then at that point, like, getting the pre-order thing for each set, and then maybe the mastery pass is like enough to keep me current with a set.
The problem is stuff like Jumpstart.
Jumpstart
Jumpstart's been
fucked
a pain
everything
in the
up.
ass.
Jumpstart fucked everything up. 100%.
I have most of the cards. The thing is, not most of the cards don't matter right now,
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal. The big thing, I don't have the Goblin Chieftain, so I can't actually play the Goblin deck, even though I do have Muxes. I have like 2 Muxuses. I guess I would need 4.
Dude, I needed.
But I'm pretty close to having that. Like, that's not 4 wild cards is like, okay, I can live with that. And I did spend. I have gotten to the point where I'm just done buying those packs. I'm just gonna use wild cards.
Oh yeah, I dipped out kind of early on that compared to a lot of people. I was looking at the time. I wanted to build the one of the mono green decks that used Primal Might, and I didn't have any. I got literally all 4 of them from Jumpstart.
That's fucking wild.
I got my play set. I'm like, I mean, this works
Wow.
out.
Well, also
Along
for
with
me, when
other
I was
shit.
doing Jumpstart, I was like, every time I had a pack selection, I looked at the lists and
Oh,
stared
dude,
at
that's
it.
what
Like,
I-
which
that's-
one of these card?
That's what
Which
I
one
did.
of these rares do I need the most?
Exactly.
But if a card is in M21, I'm like, nope, don't want that.
So the Primal Might, I think there's one deck where it was the rare. I think there was one where it was like the secondary or something like that.
Yeah, like there's a bunch where it's like, oh, the card I want comes in one of 4 versions of this pack, and
Yeah.
2 of them come with like
Dude,
an
it
M21 card.
Feels so
Great.
fucking bad.
Oh, that's the other card I don't have that I want is Crater Hoof, because they're dumb, like cheat Crater Hoof into play decks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I have Mythic. Weirdly, right now I have Mythic wild cards and no rare wild cards.
Oh, I don't think that's weird. Is that? I think that's the normal, like, situation.
I'm used to having none of either because I'm spending them on stuff.
I mean, you should be blowing all the commons and uncommons too. Get that vault progress up.
I should be, but I was way too lazy to do that.
Why? You just craft 4 at once. How many? You can't possibly have that many.
Common and uncommon wild cards. I've got like 250 of each.
Jesus
Or
Christ!
something.
You have not spent any of them.
I have, but I just don't
Ah.
need to spend that many of them because I open a lot of packs.
I mean, you should just be filling shit out.
Yeah.
It's fiscally responsible.
I was opening
I mean,
a set. I bought the Mastery Pass
yeah.
because I'm like 40 levels in or something. So I got a bunch of packs, and one of the sets I have all the rares. Like every rare, it was just giving me gems because I have all the rares.
Yeah,
with duplicate
yeah.
protection. It was,
That's
I was like,
wild.
oh, okay. I think it was Throne of Eldraine.
Okay.
because that was when I was going hard and throwing a Veldrin, and then Theros, I'm still missing a bunch. So.
Theros was one that I dipped out on.
Yeah,
it's hilarious looking at my collection. Like, this set I played a shitload. I have like 80% cards. Next set I didn't play at all, and I have like 30% cards. Set after that, back to 75 or 80%. Like, just every other set, I'm like coming back.
Yeah. The most annoying was when I was looking at historic decks I could play. I was like, "Oh, spirits, that could be fun." Then I'm like, "Oh, I don't even have this M9. I don't even have the M19 Spirit Lord." Nope, not doing that.
I actually just bought...
It's like the one card in M19 I feel like you don't have, because I opened plenty of that.
I needed I just got to a point where I was like totally dried up on like all wild cards and all gold and gems and all that shit. So I did drop money. I did like $50 into like the however many, like 45 packs or whatever.
Yeah.
I went with I just looked like what the weakest pack I had was, and this was, I wanted to also build that. I had every part of that Song of Creation mill deck with Thassa's Oracle that you played. I had everything but the amulet bud, the mythic amulet.
Oh, Mox Amber.
Yeah, Mox Amber. So I'm like, fuck it. I need to fill out some Dominaria stuff, so I just bought Dominaria packs. I didn't get a single one, but you know, I got the wild cards for it.
Yeah. Buying packs for when you need a mythic.
Yeah. But I'd be, horse a piece, fill out my collection either way.
Yeah,
I got some other stuff.
Totally.
I got some of the lands from that set, which was nice.
Yeah. I mean, any set that has dual lands you want is worth opening.
Or now try
that's kind of, that's kind of how I feel most about buying boosters in real life. Like, does this set have dual lands that matter? If yes, then maybe it's worth getting packs. Otherwise, it's kind of indulgent. But
I still have such a disconnect at what Magic actually cost. I still remember like when I started getting heavily into Arena, and that was like when Hydroid Crassus came out, and I was like, this card is so fucking expensive in person. I just did wild cards. Look, 2 seconds, no money. I have a play set.
Yeah, that's the thing with Magic Online is like there'll be one card in Standard that's like just stupid expensive and like nobody can get their hands on it, and it was Hydroid Crassus when that came out.
Oh yeah.
But that is definitely, that's just the thing. Like on Magic Online, the principle of all the value rising to the top is like completely stratified even more. Because there's really no value in trash cards. Like, there's like a little bit of value in paper because they're at least physical things, but
yeah, and you can, people, you can add them on as chaff for like a trade or something.
Yeah.
Or you can use them to play Brawl.
Yeah. Hydro Crassus came down in price a lot.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's like semi-reasonable right now.
It's like $18.
Yeah,
and online is only $1 on MTGO.
Oh.
When let's see, what was its max? Its
was
max
like 40?
Was
more?
45.
45, yeah. Hell yeah, dude! I just remember
it immediately crashed it after 45 down to like 30, but
yeah,
that's funny. It's got a lot of peaks and valleys as it plummets over the course of the year. Or 2 years? Whatever. It's been a while.
Such a good card. What a sign of things to come, though, huh? Like, because that was before, like, green got fucking ridiculous, right? Like that card was really good. And I think that was sort of like, I think people were happy with it. I don't think anyone was anyone bitching about the power level of that card. I mean, some people, of course, were, I'm sure, but
yeah,
I think it was fine. It got played a lot, but like compared to the shit that came afterwards.
I mean, the card that people weren't complaining about that they probably should have was Growth Spiral. It came out at the same time.
Growth Spiral gets a pass because it's Seb McKinnon art. That's literally why it happens to be absurdly good, but the art is why I play it. I just love that art. It's so good. It's top tier. It's absolutely S tier art.
It's very good. I'm amazed at how like much it's proven to just be the best card.
Yeah.
In Magic, in Standard.
Well, I think
It's pretty funny.
I feel like people. Maybe not. I guess did it show up immediately in that that like ramp deck with mass manipulation? I forget if it did.
Yeah, people were playing it pretty much immediately. It was just like, yeah, this is worth it. We don't have a rampant growth.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was
cultivate.
talked about. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It seems
wasn't.
like
People played it like, oh, I guess this is.
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. And I was like,
It's like
it's me with Cultivate right now. I'm like, this art is too good to not play.
Yeah. Whereas like no one's playing Cultivate really right now.
Set me. Bitch.
It's like there's some decks. There's some people.
My Simic ramp deck.
Now we're drowning in ramp.
My Simic ramp deck is terrible. It's absolutely awful. Sometimes it pops off, but because it's technically historic, like if someone plays a goblin, I lose. If someone plays any life gain, like as soon as I realize they're mono white, I've lost. Like that deck is not great. But when it pops off, it pops. But
Yeah.
it takes longer
I think
to
you'd
get
have
there.
way better luck in Standard.
Yeah, probably, but then I can't play Cultivate. Defeats the purpose of playing the deck.
That's true. It's true.
Then hilariously, did you see any of me playing that deck when I was streaming last?
No.
Okay.
No.
It was fucking great. I was just trying to get my daily quest, and I was trying to play that deck, because it like the colors lined up. But for my wins, I didn't win like a single game. I just kept getting absolutely shit on. I'm like, well, fine. We might as well switch to my stupid Simic Ascendancy deck. I won like 3 games in a row.
That's hilarious.
Just
Did you win with Simic Ascendancy?
No, I didn't even see it. I think I had it down once, and it wasn't even relevant at all.
Yes. No. Okay. That checks out with what I think of that deck, which is that that deck could be good enough to win. It probably is just gonna win without Simic Ascendancy.
There was one win that it took much longer without Simic Ascendancy down. It got to the point where I had fucking huge creatures with counters, but no way to fully go for the win for a long time until just top decking like the last creature I needed to tap out. But a Simic Ascendancy would have won immediately. I brought in the whatever fucking Hydra card from Theros Beyond Death. It like puts a counter on, and then at the beginning of the upkeep it doubles counters on the creature. So I think that's a good combo. I need to look again. I think you need full control on to order those triggers, because you should be able to.
No, there's a setting in Arena to always order your triggers.
I wonder if I looked at that wrong. I swear to God I had it turned on so I can always order, and for everything else I get the option to order, it feels like. But then when I was testing it, it didn't happen in my bot match. So maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I thought it said like auto order triggers. And I turned it off, but really it said like always order triggers, and that would be why. Something like that. But yeah, I know it's possible. I just am fricked up.
Yeah.
I had that feeling of like, oh, I've got the sick combo. Now I build this deck and basically never. If I win, it's not because I'm playing this combo.
Yeah.
And that the when I was trying to when I was playing around with the Niv Mizzet Curiosity combo, Niv Mizzet Perun. So if you play a Curiosity on a Niv Mizzet Perun, as soon as you draw a card, you just get to draw infinite cards and deal a damage for each one. Because for every damage, whenever you draw a card, Nimbus Perun gets to deal a damage. And if you deal that damage to the player, that triggers Curiosity, which lets you draw a card. Because Curiosity, unlike Curious Obsession, is not combat damage. It's any damage that a creature deals to a player, to an opponent.
Hell yeah.
Also, what's fun about Curiosity is if your creature that has Curiosity on it gets claimed the Firstborn and it attacks you, they don't get to draw a card because you control Curiosity, and Curiosity says if this creature damages an opponent.
Hell yeah.
But it
I
damaged
didn't
you.
think of that. That's spicy. That's a spicy little number.
It's like not actually a huge thing, but it is. I have seen it come up, and it's funny.
Yeah, yeah. Man. It was my first time actually getting off the combo in Songmill. Really forgot that when I cast that Oracle, it would draw 2 cards, and I lost. Took like a full 7 minutes of going through my deck while the opponent waited patiently, only for me to blow it. Fucking.
I mean, my favorite interaction with that deck now is I was playing against it, and I had a Hushbringer out. And they played the Thassa's Oracle after it's taking all the time to mill themselves, and then it's like,
Just like, huh.
that card doesn't trigger, dog.
Hell yeah.
You just milled yourself down to nothing, and you don't win.
Yeah.
What's your plan now?
Yeah, that's spicy. That deck is fun. I mean, it's a similar problem to the other self-mill deck. Though I think it's still quicker, hilariously, but it takes so fucking long.
Yeah. There are
I feel
other
bad.
versions. There's a version that doesn't use Song. That's a self-mill deck. That was actually just like there were some corner of people that were playing it in the open. That's like more. It's based around Diligent Excavator.
Okay.
And like Lupin and Underworld Breach.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you Underworld Breach, and then you start milling more cards than you're spending to loop Mox Ambers
Okay.
to go through your whole deck.
Gotcha.
With lots of mana. The thing I like about that Song deck is it can be perfect where you just have just the right enough mana. But I whiffed with that once, where and I thought it was the fail rate is pretty small on how that deck is built. But whiffing with it once, I'm like, I'm never playing this deck again. I'm not going through all this if I have a chance to still lose. No. It's just gonna fail on me. I don't want to do it.
Wow. It's a game where it can fail on you, dude. I forget.
Well, no. See, it's like if I was fine with I can lose because I don't fucking resolve a song or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I get into my combo and I've taken this long. Also, I decided that after I was kind of done playing the deck because it's so annoying.
Yeah.
To click
Yeah.
through. If it weren't also so many X cost things for 0, which
Dude.
would take extra time.
Yeah, and it makes you confirm. I hate it. There
Yeah.
needs to be a way to turn that off. For basically people playing this deck or just experience if I'm a new person, I can understand how that would absolutely if you're brand new to the game and you see that you can cast a stone coil, oh shit, I'll play it, and then it dies immediately, that would feel bad. if I've been playing this game for like 10 years now, like I understand the ramifications of what I'm doing. It's actually my plan.
Yeah.
Let me do it. Yeah.
Look, I'm just out here to watch my opponent cast Slaying Fire on himself because he can't win, and then I counterspell.
That's
his
so
Slaying Fire
that's
anyway.
such bad manners. God damn. Never has such disrespect.
Still had all these. It felt good though.
I don't even know like what my next deck thing that I want. I still like there's still a dark part of me that wants to build the shrine deck. But I've faced it a few times and it has been like blowing over a house of cards.
Yeah.
It's fucking
it's bad.
It's the softest thing in the world.
Those cards are not good.
No.
Those cards, not good cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. The funniest thing to me is like how crazy powerful the Goblins deck is, and now how many times I've just destroyed it.
Yeah.
In Historic. It's like it's great, but also it's fucking.
It's still delicate.
Doesn't.
In a
Like
way.
it's like surprisingly resilient depending on how you're attacking, like how you're, if
Yes.
you're doing like standard ways of fighting it. Like if you're just playing Wrath,
Yeah.
it can come back from that pretty well.
Yeah, dude, they just it's too much. I had that exact problem. I killed like 8 goblins, and the next turn there was like 24 goblins. didn't help at all.
No. It like really pushes me to play different. It warps the metagame, but it pushes it. I play different decks.
I mean, that's
Like
the
playing a
beauty of
deck
it,
that
dude.
plays Hushbringer. Yeah. That's like one of the big appeals of the mono white and the Azorius decks that are based around enchantments. Like you play Hushbringer in those decks. So I'm sure you could find some other Hushbringer deck that would work too.
Yeah.
Fairy Tribal.
Flying tribal. Actually, someone on the Spike subreddit.
Flying Tribal. Flying Tribal is a thing.
Yeah, someone said actually in best of one, especially they were like talking about how, like, pun intended, I've been flying over literally everybody. Like it has been.
Yeah.
I've just destroyed people. Could we bring this to best of 3? And you got pretty dumped on. Like every comment was an in-depth like novel about why it doesn't work in best of 3. But a best of 1, yeah, it's because it's unexpected and it works well.
The thing I will say about the Magic community right now is they have a lack of imagination. Honestly, people looking at how broken Wilderness Reclamation is, because like. Yeah, it's like kind of the best deck in Historic, but it's totally a beatable deck.
Yeah.
There. It's like it's better in Standard, but I don't know. Like how many decks are going to be good in Standard? Just fucking figure out how to beat it. I don't know.
I mean, my inspiration is still Lantern.
I don't think the
Control.
play patterns are fucking too brutal. Like, I still think this Standard is better than when Jeskai Luca was the deck.
Oh,
that
dude.
meta was fucking miserable.
Yeah. I'll be.
They should have banned Wilderness Reclamation, but
I don't like. It's so, dude. Someone on the general Magic subreddit like put Embercleave in the same category as Wilderness Reclamation and like Teferi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if Embercleave is on that level of annoying.
I mean, if you banned those cards, it's probably what would rise to the top.
Yeah, but there's
Embercleave decks.
I think there's more ways to deal with that though. No? Feels
Yes.
like it anyway. I think it would be. I think of those 3, I think Embercleave is more easily surmountable.
I mean, the thing is, Embercleave, you just win after you play it, So it doesn't stick in your mind as well. Like the thing with like these
Yes.
ramp decks is like they spend 90% of their time winning, even if their win percentage isn't any better than the aggro decks.
Yeah.
They just their games are just so long.
I think if you're in a meta where Embercleave is like coming out on top suddenly, I think it's easier played around though. I think it's easier to deal with.
Well, the meta where that's the best thing you can do, like that, and that's the best thing. It's just probably a meta where there's less options. You just have fewer things you could be doing, which is like where Magic was before Green started becoming stupid. Where like these red and black decks were kind of dominated, and they were just kind of like linear burn decks, like,
Yeah.
or like and like mid rangey,
You know what?
like playing Hazaret and
I'm gonna
that Phoenix
Yeah, yeah.
from Dominaria.
You made me think of my favorite card from like recent Magic. I forget the name of it. I absolutely forget the name of it. I've never played it because I'm not stupid, but when people play it against me, it's the black red at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they take a damage and draw a card.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever lost a game where my opponent has played that card. It's so good.
I know I have.
I don't think I have. I think every time it's been like,
hilarious.
well, thanks for the boost.
Yeah,
I might have not drawn through enough lands to get to my stuff, but here we are.
yeah.
It's been so great. I love that card.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a trap. Even if they win with it, I think it's still wrong every time. Just ridiculous.
Now, what if you played that card and you played? Now that wouldn't even work. If you played Narset too, because they're drawing the card on your turn, so that doesn't Narset doesn't stop that one.
Yeah. I'm sure there's someone out there. There's someone out there who forgot that wording and they played Narset and then they played that card and then their opponent drew a card with them and they just like looking at their game, then they concede.
Yeah. Look, you only make that mistake once. It's fine.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Well, you only make that mistake once with that particular interaction. I'm sure you'll make the Narset mistake somewhere else
Yeah.
again.
Oh, dude, people
Static abilities.
people misunderstand, and maybe it's new people. I'm sure.
No, I
newer.
still do it.
Well-
there's still times when like I just forget about something.
Yeah, forgetting about
Like I
stuff
can't
or-
hold in my brain that Tameo prevents discarding and sacrificing.
See, I'm not.
Where does
I'm not thinking about prevent, but there are people who look at. I guess would one be
also
like
the number of times I've seen a Teferi and gone, oh, I don't need to counter that. I'll counter the next thing.
oh, dude,
and
that one I
just-
do all the time. Yeah.
I
Like,
hate it.
I'll leave
I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a moron.
my best one is when the Teferi is already up, and it's like I didn't have a way to counter it or whatever, but then the next turn I leave 2 blue floating just in case. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
There's no point. No, the thing that I see people do, and I tend to assume they're newer usually, because it's a more common thing, I think, is when it's a card that says like put it into your hand. You're not drawing it, you're revealing it and putting it into your
Yeah.
hand. It's
That's
different.
why I like Risen Reef and
Yeah.
Mizzet Reborn.
Yeah,
See, that's what
and
they do.
I've usually that I tend to assume it's somebody newer or somebody tired, I suppose, because I remember doing
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's usually
absolutely
what's
remember
what's
doing
happening
that.
to me is when I'm tired. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you're playing a lot of Magic and I'm relying on muscle memory.
Well,
Like it's just really hard to.
Hank,
It's like when you're playing a roguelike and you get some ability that really is good, but like you have to play different, and like I just can't wrap my head around it, or it ruins me forever.
I suppose that's something that happens to people who aren't good at roguelites.
I mean, I'm not, because I don't play them that much, or I don't have the patience to play one over and over forever.
Yeah, bud. I've decided that when I hit 1,000 hours truly in Isaac, I'm gonna uninstall it and play a different game for a bit. Move to a different roguelite in place of it.
Now I want to know on Steam my roguelike with the most hours.
Ooh. Can I get it? Can I guess it? List off some roguelites that you have. Like, give me a chunk of them, so I get an idea. Maybe Slay the Spire. Are you a Slay the Spire boy? I think you're maybe Slay the Spire.
I've played Slay the Spire.
This isn't a subject that comes up much with you specifically. Maybe
no, because like I think roguelikes are cool, but I just don't. I don't have the thing in me where I don't play games for that many hours.
To like get over the hump of whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know. If I put 20 hours into a game, that's a lot for me.
Sure.
And like roguelikes, they just expect a lot more.
Yeah. But I mean, it has.
And I have to really like a game to spend that much on it.
I think it's definitely like shit like Isaac has definitely skewed me, especially or skewed my opinion, I should say. Especially for the time put into games. Like, honest to God, for me with roguelites, like my standard for if this is a truly good or maybe even a truly decent roguelite, like, can I get 100 hours out of this? In theory. I think even like Slay the Spire, which is obviously absurdly good, I don't quite have 100 hours. I think it's like close to 70.
There are only 3 games on Steam I have 100 hours in, and they're all multiplayer.
Okay.
Dota 2.
Okay, sure. Well, that's
734 hours.
Uh-huh.
And it was like 666 before I quit.
Right, and then you looked at... Yeah, I remember that.
Because there was a time when I was playing that every day.
Yeah.
Tabletop Simulator.
Okay, sure.
Number 2. That's 259 hours. And number 3 is Payday 2 at 101 hours.
Hell yeah. Sneaking in there.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot.
My number 4 is XCOM 2.
Okay.
And that's 93 hours. And that's like 2 weekends of playing that game. That's just... That game gets its hooks in me and I can't stop. But it's not like... that's not a game I came back to a bunch or like chipped away at. That is like a couple sittings. It's just like didn't sleep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got a chunk here. I mean, first is Isaac, as expected, 980. Second one, I think, is actually my third place. Probably, maybe even fourth. So second for me is Grand Theft Auto 5. But I have left that game running a lot just to have like my businesses create product or whatever because it takes so long. So literally,
if you're running it like a clicker, then maybe.
I don't know. I've literally left it up so my businesses would keep making money, like if there's a double sale week or some shit. So like it would just run for like, I would keep it on for 72 hours straight. So I think that is easily my third place because third place right now is Terraria at 450, and that's like I think that's pretty true playtime. Next is Skyrim at 368. Payday 2 at 360. Rocket League is a sad one. 305 hours. Never gonna touch that shit again, probably. They ruined it.
It's free to play now, though.
They ruined it.
You get all their official Rocket League stuff if you bought the game, right?
If you bought it and if you played online, like before this announcement as well, you got like extra shit. Yeah. Borderlands 2, I got 262. Tabletop is 204, and then No Man's Sky at 150-ish. Destiny and Civ 6 is at exactly 100. Oh, Destiny 2 is at like 118.
Yeah.
Arma 3, Team Fortress 2, and Kerbal Space Program are all almost 100 hours at like 99. From those good old Arma 3 days, though. Where all the magic started. And then, like, I mean, other shit. The one game that I'd be curious to see how much time I dropped in would be Heroes of the Storm. Because
I know I'm well over my Dota time with Heroes. I don't remember where it's at.
And
I know I've played more Heroes than Dota 2.
I think that might be my most, like, actually most played game. It would be an interesting, maybe more than Minecraft, maybe not. Minecraft has age on its
it's hard
side.
with like card games that I played a shit ton like back in the day.
Yeah,
that I have
yeah.
no way to track.
That's actually
I played a lot of Warcraft 3 custom maps.
Yeah, actually,
A lot of which was Dota, but I have no idea how much time that was.
in that same note, Halo 3 might actually still be up there just for how, because that was like my game from the day it came out. Almost like other people started moving to Call of Duty. No. I played Halo 3. I remember someone telling me about Minecraft when it came out, and we were playing Halo 3, and he was like, no, dude, you gotta check out this game. Like, it sounds dumb, but it's kind of like Legos. Like, it's blocks, and you can just, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you just build anything. It's like, you just have to use your imagination. I'm like, it sounds stupid, though. Let's play Halo.
Yeah, I remember learning about Minecraft when it was still like in alpha or whatever.
Yeah. It wasn't.
$10.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, I'll pass. And I never bought Minecraft.
See, that's when I bought it. I played the demo or whatever, and I bought it for $10, and now it's like 30 or whatever shit. It's ridiculous.
I think it's only 20.
Whatever. It's basically 30.
Basically.
Despite being
it's
halfway.
whatever
Despite
weird
being,
price it is in Russia, depending on how conversion on its platform works.
I mean, despite being.
I love it if like the Java version is like $100, but the Windows version that's like $2.
Ugh. Windows version.
The Windows version you get the 4K textures or whatever.
Yeah, but you can't, like, the mods are just trash. If there's like, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Also, I like how it's getting the RTX support or whatever.
Yeah, ray tracing. That was
the ray tracing. But like the mods, there's mods that do it better.
Yeah.
That game is fucking dumb, and like how crazy the community is. Just ridiculous.
I mean, it's a very important game.
I'll take that's a good enough segue. Speaking of ridiculous communities and important games.
Oh, you mean the other candidate for what might be my most played game?
Hang on, don't tell me.
Wow, it's
Cook-
WoW. It's World of Warcraft.
I was gonna make a joke. You give me time. I was gonna say like Mary Kate and Ashley's Sweet 16 on the GameCube.
How is my 10th most played game on Steam Destiny 2 on Steam? I definitely didn't play more. I definitely played more Destiny 2 when it was on the Blizzard launcher, I think.
Yeah, but if
than
you
when it was
like,
on Steam.
because when we all kind of hopped in, except that one,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, related to World of Warcraft, I have like I don't know a better term for it, and I hate to like exaggerate, but it's like mild PTSD. Like I literally, as I was creating my World of Warcraft character, and I like paid for my subscription after enjoying the trial, I was literally thinking to myself, now that I'm finally starting this game, is it going to die this year? Like, is it actually going down the shitter? Because that's exactly what happened with Destiny 2. I started that game, and then just like it turned like it. I enjoyed it a lot, and then I got deeper into it and realized that I wasn't enjoying it, and the feeling of missing out and all that shit. Am I doing this to myself again? This game is
No, you're jumping on WoW well after it's dead. It's fine.
Well, that's what I'm like. This game is like 16 years old now. Am I going to be the one that kills it finally? Like I join and the servers just all die? I don't know, man. But no, it's been good so far. What I was, I asked. I think I've asked like 3 times now. Because I think I already asked you, and then I forgot, and I asked Paul when we were playing, and he told me, and I forgot. What's your WoW character like? What's your main? What do you main?
I mean, I've had different mains. I haven't had one character.
What was your most
WoW,
recent main, and what was your first main?
My most recent main is my priest on WoW Classic.
Okay, what is your most recent retail main?
I played Demon Hunter when Legion came out.
Right, Demon Hunter. Okay. I blame Paul. He said
And
Death Knight, and then he said not Death Knight, Demon Hunter, but they both start with D, and they're both 2 words,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, before I played Legion, I was playing Death Knight, and before that, I played Priest in Vanilla WoW.
Okay. Yeah.
I've done Priest in Vanilla WoW, like original Vanilla WoW. I did it twice, and then I did it for WoW Classic. I just really like Priest in original WoW.
Yeah,
I've
man.
never gotten a. Did I level a priest? I might have a priest that's over level like 63. Like my original priest is like sitting at like level 63. Because I played like a tiny bit of Burning Crusade with it.
Oh, gotcha.
To level it and then gave up.
Dude, the like, I thought I was going to hit much more of a wall for leveling even after 60.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my assumption was that it was still a little bit difficult, and then obviously it wasn't. And then I'm like, okay,
No.
like from what I'm looking at, it seems like maybe 60 to 70 is a bit of a wall. No. Like
No.
it's
No, you're not gonna hit a
little more-
wall till like you're getting really close. Like the last 10
Yeah.
levels,
I
maybe
think-
the last 20 levels will be a little slower.
Yeah, I think 80, 90 is like where it kind of hits.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I'm having fun. Even though, like, because of how fast it is, like, like Paul said, until level 70, I should stay in Outland or whatever, and then, like, level 70 to 80, I could do, like, Northrend.
Northrend?
Yeah. And I think level 60 to 70 was, like, a couple hours or whatever, so I'm like, alright, I did, like, 5 quests, guess it's time to leave.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, I just don't do Outland because that's in retail WoW. That's like the oldest quest stuff,
Yeah.
and I just think they like Wrath of the Lich King was like the sweet spot of their leveling design for me.
Okay.
So I just like doing Wrath instead.
I started,
Um,
I mean, initially, obviously, I just, for everything, like, oh, you have a quest, accept. Oh, this quest led to 4 more quests, accept. And I just did everything. And
Yeah. I'm also biased because I didn't play Burning Crusade. I was
sure.
I did not play WoW during that time.
I mean, yeah,
So I have nostalgia for that area, really.
yeah, yeah.
Or not nearly as strong.
Wrath of the Lich King, I have a weird nostalgia for. Not that I played it, but like that's the one that I heard about constantly. Like for people like talking about it, that's the one I heard the most of. Or like people like being hyped and like all these hushed whispers of shit or whatever. So yeah, I'll move on to that. I think the quest I have right now, I slowly like started taking less, and now I think the only quest I have left from Burning Crusade is like, I think one is a raid, and then there's like 3 dungeons that I have to do, which are I actually, of course, are actually enjoyable as opposed to kill 10 boars.
I mean, that's the other thing is like, I like leveling sometimes just by doing dungeons over and over again.
Yeah,
Those
man.
are more fun.
So, do you guys like? Have you? I guess I don't know if Paul has played since they introduced it. I think it was in like 2019. Like it was super recent. I thought this was a feature. I thought it was more of a staple MMO feature, or at least like this genre of MMO, like a party sync. So like, you can join my party, and then if I'm like the leader or whatever, you can just sync yourself to my level, and it doesn't like take you to my level, but it brings your character down to the max level if needed of the content that I'm doing. So like,
no, I haven't done that at all.
okay. So like, if I join Mark right now, my character would go down to, and I synced, it would go down to level 60. So, like, Paul was saying, like, his his characters are all high leveled, and I realized, like, I think we could be playing still if you wanted. And there's like something you have if you repeat a quest with your lowered character, you have a chance to get like a goodie bag item or something that has like shit in it. It's like like if you do a repeated quest or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't played retail WoW in what feels like forever. Well, actually, I know last time I played was like they did a free weekend, like in lead up to Battle for Azeroth getting released, and I logged on and I was like, I have all this shit in my bags. I just don't want to play this character. I just don't. Fuck this. It's just too messy.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Sure.
And then what I wanted to do was play WoW Classic, it turned out. Where leveling is slow as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious, but I think I agree. When you said that you didn't think I'd like it, I think I agree. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's much slower. The wheels aren't greased. It's like it's just hard. It's just annoying a lot of the time. In terms of like, why are these the quests I have to do? Like their zones are more poorly designed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, more of a hassle. But I like the texture of it. Like, modern WoW is like a water slide or something, and like this is like walking down steps.
Yeah.
And I just like going for a walk. I don't know.
No, I get you.
I also, the big thing for me is I like WoW Classic. It's not about new content. It's not, as someone who's really not playing the game a lot, I don't want like constant refreshes of my gear the way like if I were playing a max level character, which if I had played as much current WoW as I'd played Classic, I would have had a max level character.
Yeah.
Because I was playing a bunch. And I don't know. But like if you and Mark are playing WoW, that could get me to play it again. if I were ever around when people played video games, which I'm kind of not. It feels like, so I don't even know.
I mean, at this point, it might be
Yeah.
me, Mark, Paul, and John.
Yeah.
What a revelation that John had a WoW problem back in the day.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I had a summer where me and my friends, we had a vent channel, and we all leveled new characters in a new server, and that was like, my whole summer was just focused on WoW, and like hanging out with friends in a Discord or a vent channel, just like
Hell
the
yeah,
same
dude.
thing. Got to like level 40
yeah.
over 3 months.
As opposed to level 77 over
As opposed to
30
like
hours.
like even before Battle for Azeroth, and the level got even easier. Like me and my friend played casually for a week and got to 60.
Yeah.
Like super like hang out, talk a bit at the end of the day in like a week or two or something, and hit 60. It was like the last time I was like leveling a character fresh
Yeah.
on live server.
Paul said I was a real...
It's just weird. Yeah, it's weird to me how much more when WoW Classic came out, how much I liked it, because I would have said never again if you had asked me if I wanted to play WoW Classic. And I at the time, like on all the lead up, I liked live WoW. It's like, yeah, make it easier. That's good. And I can't explain it why that shift happened for me, where like I'd rather play WoW Classic than play live WoW. I don't really know why that happened.
I think the new content thing makes sense. I can
I
see
think
that
it's
absolutely.
also that like they changed my like one of the reasons I didn't want to play my Death Knight is they changed Death Knight so much. It's like not the class I knew.
Gotcha.
And I don't have any attachment to Demon Hunter. Like I played that for one expansion as like a new character. Like I don't really have an attachment to that. So I don't there isn't a character on Live WoW or a class that I'm like married to because they've changed them so many times.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel very attached to like how Priest plays in WoW Classic.
I mean, I'll probably check out
So there's
Classic
that
at
too.
some point just to have the experience. It's one of those things
Yeah,
like
you'll probably you might get to level 10 maybe.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're
don't know,
playing
we'll
a lot
see.
of WoW.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe I might do more.
I mean, the thing is, I'm like sitting on leveling tokens, so I can like make all kinds of leveled characters on Live
Yeah.
WoW if I had a subscription. Like,
Yeah.
I'd have plenty of options for playing
Yeah.
with people, since I'm not.
I mean, I could see myself enjoying.
Also, maybe it's that I used to play WoW on touchpad, so that I'm not playing on touchpad anymore. Like,
Well, you
where
could-
it's even the point.
Just change that.
I would do
change
like
that.
ranked arena combat on my laptop touchpad.
Bored.
I got a special tabard for getting a good
Oh my-
rank playing that way.
Oh my god.
I didn't use I used like one hotkey. I had like my interrupt on a hotkey, like on Q, and the rest I was clicking all my abilities on
my
touchpad,
God. Unbelievable.
and I murdered people. Keyboard turning my way to success.
Jesus. No, I could see the thing from Classic that I could see myself enjoying. Like, I don't mind the idea of leveling. I find leveling to be generally enjoyable. You know, powering up, getting new abilities, getting new gear. But it's sort of the Destiny 2 problem for me right now. Like, leveling means nothing when you complete 2 quests and you're like level 40 already. Like, it just zips up
Yeah.
and it doesn't, like, yeah, I'm getting new stuff, but I'm like at this point the true new shit is like when I'm max level and I'm getting shit or whatever.
No, that's the thing. WoW Classic had, like, the way I would describe it is it had texture comparatively.
Yeah.
Whereas like modern WoW feels like Destiny, like they're not that different.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas WoW Classic feels like a different thing. My thing is, I want them to make a WoW Classic expansion that's not just putting out Burning Crusade. I want like a new game that is like building on the design philosophy of the original WoW, but that doesn't go in the direction WoW went in.
Sure.
That's like tries more to preserve the things about the game that do still work, instead of just trying to streamline everything and changing all the classes every expansion just because they feel like it.
I made a joke that their plan for Classic was just to re-release all of the expansions, so eventually it's just retail WoW. And someone didn't know I was joking. They got really upset. Like they thought I had read this somewhere. Like, oh no, I know fuck all about WoW. Don't listen to me.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
No. That defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Not if they always have servers that are vanilla, and then they have some servers that are
Yeah, I guess.
Burning Crusade or whatever.
Letting yourself play whatever you want.
Like they're still doing the progression of Classic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still putting out new grades and stuff on a schedule. It's just,
yeah.
it's slow, but
Actually, that was like the other weird thing I noticed. As I mentioned, I like doing a bit of the market shit. And it's kind of funny looking up just loose guides, because there's all the professions and all that shit, and you can do whatever, but I'm just like, what sort of shit should I be looking out for in profession X? And literally every answer for every profession was like one of these 3 exact things from whatever the latest expansion is.
yeah.
Like I tried looking up like sell rates for items from like Burning Crusade, because that's where I am right now. 0 data. Absolutely 0 data. Like I could not find anything about any items from Burning Crusade.
It's probably just because none of them matter.
None of them, yeah. That's kind of what it seemed like.
I mean, you burn through that content so fast. Like, A, how much would you get? How much of that stuff would you even get? And B, who would care about it? Like, what piece of gear or stuff other than like, oh, I need to burn through this crafting tree or whatever.
Yeah.
I want my crafting. I need mats from this one level for a little bit.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like
I don't
the materials were selling okay. I think again because people are like using them to make their potions or whatever to get that leveled. But I tried selling some potions and people, they didn't want those potions.
Nope. Well, because yeah, the problem with MMOs in general is like you hit this point where most of the player base is at max level. Most of the people who are still playing the game are max level, and that's just like a weird thing. It's a weird problem to try and solve, and kind of nobody ever has. Like you put out more you put out more stuff eventually when you like have time to make it, and then they burn through it all again.
You re-release the original game. You slap a classic tag on it.
Yeah, that worked briefly.
Actually, the thing I saw as like a I don't know if complaint is the right word. I guess a disgruntled observation. Someone noted that like all these people were hoping to capture the original experience, and you kind of can't. Like, that's just how experiences work. And
Yeah.
aside from that, they said part of the thing was at the time, and it absolutely depends on the person, but at the time, like, nobody knew what the fuck they were doing, right? Like, you're just you're just doing shit, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and eventually people, find some little strategies or whatever. But now everyone is like, you need this herb from this place, and there's only like 3 of those, so there's not enough to actually go around, but everybody wants them because now we know this is how you properly min-max doing this, and it's like, it's been tarnished.
Like, one of the things, like, you could say WoW Classic was solved. It was a solved game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is one of the odd comments I've seen on the WoW noob subreddit when people ask, like, oh, does it matter, like, what class or race I play? And everyone's like, on retail? No. On classic? Yes. If you want to be, like, the best.
Yeah. Well, it's just their classes that suck. They're like they're classes that are much worse, and they're specs that are much worse. Which is one of the things I like about it. I like that there's, like, again, one of the streamlines things is when WoW is like one of the ways they balanced it is everything kind of feels the same. Like, all the healers are equal because they all kind of have the same main spells. Like, oh yeah, I have my regular heal and my other heal. Whereas, like, in retail, it's like, oh, only this class has big heals and small quick heals. This one is just, it's like their heals are just kind of fucked. Like, their spells are bad or whatever. They have to cast, like, lower level versions of these spells.
Yeah.
So that the cast time isn't too long or whatever. Like, paladins are just like, they don't have the correct gear. It's like they can wear plate, but they have to wear cloth gear if they want to heal, because there's no good int gear for plate.
Yeah.
They can't get that's the shit they need for their class to work properly. And that weird, like, those quirks of that stuff is fun. Like, again, if you just want, like, your medicine to go down quickly and everything to be greased up and oiled down and balanced, if you want balance. I'm kind of just sick of balance in games, because it's like super important if you're doing competitive stuff, but if you're just fucking around, it's way less interesting. Like, just there's less variety from class to class.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't feel as different.
Well, that was even, what was it? I think
and it's mostly because, like, they're like, this is too hard. It's too hard to balance these different classes, these classes that are so different, so they made them more similar.
Well, that's what I was going to say with, I'm trying to think what it was. For a while, Horde was the only side that had Shaman. What was Alliance?
Yeah,
Alliance only had something. What was
Paladin.
Paladin. And they got sick of, like, trying to balance them against each other, so they just put them on both.
Yep.
Like, I understand it, but also, like, it's kind of lame. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and it's been kind of nice just because it's such a huge game that, like, any question I've feasibly had has had 800 threads made about it already. So, in that regard, it's good.
I mean, the best thing about WoW back in the day was just I knew so many people playing it, like, in real life.
Yeah.
Like, that was definitely the zeitgeist power of it, of just like, oh yeah, like, all my friends from school are playing this video game, and I can then play with them.
If I actually had internet, maybe it would have happened.
Yeah.
Though the subscription would have been a problem.
Oh yeah.
That would have been an issue for 12-year-old me.
Uh-huh. I mean, the hilarious thing was, WoW ran better on my garbage computer than EverQuest did.
Was it just better optimized?
Like, EverQuest, oh, it was so much better. Like, Blizzard was so good at making their games for garbage computers back then.
Hell yeah.
they've kind of since StarCraft 2, they have not been as good about it. But they used to just like one of the reasons their games were so popular is they would run on a toaster. Like
Yeah,
in an era where like I couldn't run most games because I was felt incredibly risky to buy a PC game for me because like this probably isn't gonna actually work on my computer. My computer's bad, and it's not like I'm actually gonna be able to talk my parents into buying me a expensive computer. They bought me $100 e-machines thing because it was cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, WoW ran great.
Hell
Always. The only problem was like with bad internet. Like if there was an area with too many people in, the lag would be crazy.
I was really into various comics like Sunday comics, so like Calvin and Hobbes, and then that kind of led into like Foxtrot. They would always have the World of Warcraft jokes, and they're like Jason, the kid was looking at a new computer, and he's like, well, how good is it? The salesperson's like, you know, those I forget what their like off-brand World of Warcraft was. It was like Realm of Realcraft or some shit like that. I don't know. He's like, you know, in the hub areas with hundreds of people, and it comes to an absolute. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Fuck me. I did it again where I didn't move my mouse and my screen shut off, and I panic every time. That's been like 3 episodes in a row that I've done this. Anyway, the salesperson is like, you know, the hub city with hundreds of people, and it comes to an absolute crawl. Like, yeah. On this computer, it only comes to half a crawl. He's like, oh shit.
Look, nothing will compare to me to EverQuest, where to navigate to like the bazaar, which is the auction house equivalent.
Okay.
Which ran by people setting up their character as a vendor.
Oh my god.
In a open market.
That's pretty good.
So there was just all these they're just characters everywhere in this tiny zone that you had to load into. The way you navigate is you look at the floor, so you're only loading the floor, dude. And then you navigate by the map.
Hell yeah.
And then you can make it there.
I've definitely been there.
I love EverQuest. That was like everything about so the thing is like WoW Classic is like, oh, this is like the unoptimized, like, oh, it's all this stuff's fucked up, but like it was at the time the super streamlined version compared to what they were comparing to, which was EverQuest. Like EverQuest is a nightmare. EverQuest is a fucking mess of just content stapled upon content. Oh, like just like we'll just staple more stuff on. There's no like design here. It felt like.
Hell yeah.
It's like, oh, this world's terrible to navigate. I guess now you can teleport to the moon, and you can go around by teleporting.
Actually, that's been it's been a weird thing, and I obviously don't have a lot of points of comparison. For me coming in, and also like maybe it's just something they've changed that I'm experiencing because I'm so late to this fucking party. So in high school, the MMO that I did try, that Jeremy played and like one of our other friends played, it was called Aeon, something like that. Had kind of an okay aesthetic. It was like angels and demons, like really heavily into that side of things, and it seemed like they really shoved the story down your throat, like and that's something I also noticed with Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 is like it starts out and you have all these like cinematics that are specific like for the story that you will be starting out with, and it was off-putting because you have this personal story stuff, and then when you of course when you get into the world, there's like 1,000 random ass people with quests like, I need 18 fish from this lake, and it just feels completely unrelated. and like a little dumb. And maybe this is different, but in World of Warcraft so far, there's like none of that. Like, if anything, it feels like they don't want me to care about the story. Like, I have no idea what's going on, frankly.
Well, so
They've just shoved me in.
like, I mean, there's yeah, it's partly because you don't get to see it because you're bouncing around from zones so quickly. After, I think it's after Wrath of the Lich King. The high level zones like have a story. Like each zone is like a story that if you followed all the quests through that zone, you would see the end of. But I don't even know if you'll be in any of them long enough to see that stuff. And like some of them are really good. Some of them I liked a lot. Some of them are fucking boring. But
I mean,
but so the other thing is, one of the weird things about like the Cataclysm like 0 to 60 that they redid is like the story of those quests in a lot of cases is like, oh, this quest is a sequel to the quest that was here in Vanilla WoW that you'll never see if you're a new player. Like that 0 to 60 experience is like WoW 2 in a world where you never play WoW 1. Where so like there are references to like what used to be here in a lot of them.
Yeah.
So like that stuff's just all gonna go over your head. Like you're just not gonna get any of it.
I mean, even
so that's some of it. It's not like incredibly in depth, but that stuff exists.
I'm not really. It's not. It's not a complaint even. In fact, I think I kind of like it because. I mean, first off, like as I've said like several times to different people now, like all of my knowledge from this game comes from like Heroes of the Storm. So like they're like, we gotta find Malfurion. I'm like, oh, he's been in Heroes of the Storm this whole time. He was in the Nexus. But like in the context of this, I'm like, obviously, I'm like, who the fuck is Malfurion? Well, he came back from where? I'm like, where's this? Why was he on vacation? Like, there's so much that they're just name dropping and place dropping, and I have no idea. But it allows me to focus more on like enjoying the game and not trying to worry about who's who because there's so many fucking people that it doesn't matter. And then occasionally, you get like, to the people who I care about.
Where are you right now?
What
level?
I'm around Shatrath.
Oh, Shatrath.
Yeah.
Like,
Paul said I'm a real Warcraft player because I was flying around in circles around the main building.
Hell yeah!
And just shooting the shit while we were talking.
That is what you did in Shatrath. From like after Wrath, I think, like the intros to zones also start getting a little more story like cinematic-y. Like not a lot, but there is more. That's when they start doing that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking
and
like
where
I'm gonna like
where like intros to quests become a little more elaborate or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Right now it's like, I mean, I've got the gist is like exactly the same. We're fighting the Horde.
Yeah.
Wait, no. There was one bit. What's the?
Sometimes you're fighting with the Horde. You're like fighting with the Alliance or whatever.
What's the priestess that we unleash? Or not the priestess, like the goddess of them, as Shara? Shara? Yeah, sure. That seemed like it was going to be a problem, and then I haven't gotten back to it yet. Like, it hasn't come up.
It might have been a raid. It might be a dungeon.
It's probably a raid.
Like, the other thing is, like, you're going to see story stuff, and you're not going to see you're just going to miss the
conclusion
of it.
100%.
It's just because you're leveling so fast, you're just never going to see everything.
I mean, eventually, if I come back and do shit out of boredom, or just to see it.
No, there's no reason to ever go back to do the regular questing. Dungeons, maybe.
If it's like if it's a story quest that's not too bad. Yeah, no, I got to.
There's like no reason.
It was so odd because the game. I mean, you start out. I'm a night elf, so I started out in Teldrassil, and I it feels like they didn't adjust where the game pushes you for how fast you level. So when I was like level 45, it pushed me organically into a zone that other races start out in, and all the quests are like level 20. So I'm earning like no XP. And I'm like, someone didn't think this through, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like they gave me an out. Cuz literally I mean I sent that screenshot in chat. Literally it's just like, "Oh, you get to choose your next assignment. Where do you want to go?" And you just hit a button and it takes you to Outlander Northrend. Like it was so forced. But following the quest, yeah, it takes you to whatever area that's super low. And I'm like, I'm not doing... I'll do fetch quests for gold, but I ain't doing fetch quests for copper, bud.
Yeah, I wonder how much of the cinematic stuff just cut out because of that kind of thing.
I haven't seen any cinematics since the new one with Sylvanas that they show you upon starting the game the first time.
Yeah. I get you're not actually, I think, at them.
Okay.
Wrath was where they started doing them more, I think. Yeah, Wrath was where they started. There's like one I can think of in game, but like again, it's like one. Because like a lot of the cinematic stuff was like in the trailers for patches.
Gotcha.
Like they introduced characters in trailer patches, kind of.
My plan for now,
like they might have been thinking earlier.
I did ask this question on the subreddit, or I looked up what other people had asked rather, and 100% of people were like, "Go watch this video." Someone else already has it summed up, and I'm like, okay, I'll probably watch that, and then at least when I played the game, I'll have like a loose idea. So,
as someone who's played the game, I've learned a lot of the lore from those videos.
Well, I think maybe that was you I asked a long time ago, because I think probably while we were still playing Heroes, and I think you said like if you want the actual lore, like go play Warcraft 1 through 3 or whatever, like just play those games instead of trying to play WoW.
And even then, it's like
messy.
The lore in those, there's a lot of the story. Like, there's a lot of story in Warcraft 3, but there's a lot of story in Warcraft 3 that also doesn't matter. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, if you were trying to, like, convert it into, like, an actual, like, movie or some other medium, it would be a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, like, I don't know. It's not that much when you go back and look at it.
Yeah.
There's not that much there or whatever. And there's a lot that's there that's like not relevant because those games are built around, you know, the 4 races you play as. So you bounce back. So like the Horde is like a campaign, and then you're playing as the Alliance, and you're playing as the Undead, and then you're playing as the Night Elves or whatever. So it doesn't really flow as one story.
Yeah.
The way you would want a real story to flow.
Sure.
But it does do a good job of building of like having this world that like you get invested in.
Yeah. I will. That
and
is.
Then you play as Rexar, and you're just fucking around as like a dude who's half giant, half orc, and you have pet animals. That's a good time.
See, I can't. I was talking about this with Mark a little bit, and playing World of Warcraft, it's felt super nostalgic despite me never playing it when I was younger. Like, I don't know, like if I've seen the South Park episode too many times or what the fuck, or like just the
Probably
cultural.
Seen the South Park episode too many times. Definitely seen the South Park episode too many times. If you've watched the South Park episode more than once.
I mean, I've watched it twice because I watched it with Anya and she thought it was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
But like it doesn't. It feels, the world feels so good. Like the design of things and like walking around, I'm like, this feels cool as shit. Like this is It feels good.
Oh yeah,
It just feels nice. There's lots of
Yeah.
trees that helps. I like those areas.
yeah, that's fair. Oh, yeah, one of my actually big things about why I love WoW Classic, a thing I love about WoW Classic, compared to like modern WoW, they're like like it feels like they're levels that they're designing for like to push you through this space for you to play through.
Yeah.
Whereas WoW Classic, it feels like they built a world based on their lore, and then they fit the game to that.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
can see that.
this road has to be this long because that's how long it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's how far this city is from this place or whatever. So then we'll fill it in afterwards. So you just have these giant open roads with nothing around for a while. Where it's much more like the Cataclysm rework for the leveling stuff is so like from here to here to boop doop doop doop.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like in original WoW would be like you're doing this, you're doing this. Oh, you hit this area, now you're doing this whole group of stuff, and now you're doing this, and it's like this is the part that feels good when you're like, oh, I can get like 5 quests that I just run around and scoop up, or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that feeling of being in a place is like a kind of video game level design that you like never get. So that just that feels good to go back to. It's just like, yeah, this is dumb, but it's like it has a definite vibe to it. Like I feel like I'm in a place.
Yeah. It's even like compared to other games, like
Yeah.
retail WoW feels good. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on why it is, but like maybe it's just it's more fantastical. Like my
It
big
is
one,
like continuous big space.
yeah, my
In a
my
way
com-
games
my
don't have.
comparison that comes to my mind, because like this was the other game that kind of did this for me, was Skyrim. And this just feels so much better. And I think it is because it's more like Skyrim just feels like a fucking it could be the real world almost without the magic or like elves or whatever shit. But like if you take just the design of things, like there's nothing too crazy mostly.
Yeah.
Everything in WoW is like, man, there's so much like cool shit that just it feels like a different world in a good way, which I like. It's something, you know, me and Peter have had that discussion a lot about, like, you know, maybe the game doesn't need to have fully realistic physics, you know? That sort of shit. Like, you know, it's a fantasy, it's a game.
Look,
Like, do
it just,
shit.
just needs to feel good to run in a circle. That's what's important.
Yeah. I was having fun flying around and talking. I can't say that I've ever walked around in Skyrim while shooting the shit with someone.
Yeah. Yeah, I never. My feeling on Skyrim was always like I could just play an MMO. I don't understand why I would play this single player thing like this when I could play EverQuest or WoW.
Because if you get mods, you can give the boobs physics, Hank. Boob physics. And dick physics, if, you know, depending on the version you have. Actually,
I'll
when
just mod that into The Sims so that then the Sims can fuck and then I can drown them. Or lock them into a walled room with no windows and watch them starve to death.
I mean, Anya's plan was
A man of culture.
Anya wanted to. I mean, first she spent like 2 hours crafting the perfect family, and then as soon as the game started, she hit pause, turned to me, and was like, "Who's going to be the first sacrifice?" Like referring to the kids. Like they had these two beautiful children. Like, who's going to be the sacrifice? And immediately after,
Hell yeah.
her plan turned into, she like turned her character into a monster, like just the ugliest piece of shit. Just like the worst looking sim that could possibly be created. And
Okay, but
her goal,
did she mod in gangbangs though?
no, we'll get to that. Her goal was to have 100 kids with this guy before he dies. She had sex with everybody in the town as that sim. Every single person feasible. She didn't actually get to 100. She made it to like 96 kids. And the line, like the way the family tree works is that it's just like her character and then a single branch, and you have to scroll through all 96 kids. And
Also, I think technically in the lore of Sims, they don't have sex. They woohoo, and then a baby happens.
oh, right, of course, yeah.
You have to mod in gangbangs or whatever
So
if you want.
the reason that she couldn't get to 100 kids was because first, her sim was old, and second, he was in the game and
Drink that fountain of youth, man.
she did that a couple of times. She had to keep it going. But one of the mechanics of the game is that when a former lover dies, your sim gets sad and they can't have sex because they feel sad or they can't make woohoo. So she wasn't able to actually do it because so many past lovers were kicking the bucket every single day that her sim was just
hilarious.
perpetually depressed. And then eventually, dude died doing what he loved. He like died of exhaustion during woohoo. And his last son, she decided to carry on the legacy and wanted him to start banging everybody. There were so many people in town that were now related to him that she couldn't. So then she comes to me and she's like, are there incest like cheats or something?
Oh, of course there are.
I'm like, well, naturally, yes. What do you want to do? Yeah, that was Anya's Sims legacy. She's terrible. She's terrible with games, dude. She yells at me, but when she plays games, she's like unresponsive. Like just the absolute worst. Like, Anya, hey, do you want anything to eat? Whatever, blah, blah. Yeah. Just not doesn't hear anything I say.
Yeah. Because video games are good and powerful,
Yeah.
and you have to understand that power. If you don't respect it, it will rule you. Like the One Ring of Power. You'll turn into Gollum.
Yeah, it's already happened. That's gonna be. I started Warcraft. I'm 16 years late, but I'm ready to make up for that lost time. It's a pandemic, baby.
It's true. It is a pandemic.
Dude, can you imagine if I would have found this out
What
in like
better time
March?
to work? Yeah.
I'd have like
Work in the
18
Warcraft
characters.
mines. Yeah, when you're fucking leveling your ults. It's like, well, I maxed. Druid. Better go max
I mean, I'm actually
Paladin.
I'm actually debating.
It was in WoW Classic where you like it was more annoying to be multiple specs because there wasn't really a good way to switch specs.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing where like you might just level a whole nother druid
Yeah.
to be a healing druid rather than a feral druid or whatever.
Yeah. I have
You missed your window, your best time for WoW, which was when druids they were just tree folk the whole time. They had a tree form for healing, so they were just a tree constantly.
there's still a tree form for restoration that actually did influence my decision, and I mean maybe I'll.
It's not unless you're a tree all the time though anymore, is it? I don't think. It used to just be that you just turned into a tree and you just lived as a tree your whole life. Mostly,
So,
except for like
to my understanding,
mounting,
from what I've seen, if you're doing like a raid or something and you're like you're like the main healer, you absolutely that's like a thing that you do. You just like, oh, we're here, whoop, and you turn into a tree and you just don't stop because it has whatever benefits. So like you're still casting shit, but yeah, you're a tree. So that did influence my decision, seeing that like end game ability. But and maybe I'll get gear to like respec into that at some point. But for right now, I'm like starting out especially. I'm like, I don't know if anybody will be playing, so at least as a tank, I can do a bit of damage and still have fun being a bear.
I think a transform was like a level 40 ability.
I believe they changed it.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe it was Moonkin they got rid of. Used to be a Moonkin form.
Moonkin, I believe, is for the.
Or did they just change? They just changed how it worked. I don't remember.
Moonkin.
They changed so much.
Moonkin is
I stopped paying
only
attention.
Moonkin is only balance spec, which is
Yeah,
like
it was
not the
it was a
best
damage. It was a damage mage. Well, it was good at some
balance.
point.
Yeah.
Because my friend played a bunch of Moonkin Druid when it was very strong.
So, from what I'm seeing, you have the Moonkin is for balance, which I think currently is like the weakest form. Like I think it's balance, but it doesn't do anything super well. The cat is for the DPS, bear is for tank, and tree is for healing.
It's like spell DPS.
Yeah.
It's theoretically what it is. It's just probably not as good as like actual spellcasters, like mages or whatever.
Incarnation, Tree of Life. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So you're not there permanently as a Tree of Life. You transform into it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
It's level 75. Okay, so I did miss Peak Druid. Yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
In EverQuest, druids would turn into like a wolf. They also had a spell to just turn into a tree, like literally just an immovable tree.
Hell yeah.
Which was more of a thing because in EverQuest, you only regained mana at a reasonable rate if you were like sitting down. So like leveling was all about finding a group and having all your spellcasters like constantly sitting while they regained their mana as the tank ran around and brought enemies to that spot.
Yeah.
Because also enemies wouldn't leash; you could drag them all over the zone you were in. It's just the world was more broken up between loading screens.
Okay.
And I played a shaman, which in that game was a buffing class. So like I had a buff spell for like every stat. So I would just put all my buffs on people and then sit and regen my mana and wait for them to go on.
Rinse and repeat.
Need to be recast. Yeah. And I could heal a little bit too, but I wasn't a good healer if we had a druid or whatever.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? Oh, that's still like the one thing. Like, maybe in an expansion in the future, somehow, possibly. Guild Wars 2 with the Sylvari, the playable plant race. Really fucking
race.
good. Really good.
You could be a panda though.
And they're
You could be a Chen.
but it's not a plant. It's not a plant. And their origin was great. Just like a dude planted a tree. There was like a spirit that was happy, and he like helped the tree, and then you just like pop out as a fully grown plant person with no memory. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Is there like? I've been trying to look. It doesn't seem like there's actually a like. Is there an equivalent of the Bard class in Warcraft right now? In WoW?
No.
Like just support? Yeah. Because that's also a class I enjoy. That's like a character type I enjoy. Is like just doing the support spells, but it didn't seem like there was anything in that realm.
No. WoW is way more about DPS healer tank.
Yeah. Which, you know, It's fine.
Yeah, it works.
Also, I need like I don't know. I've been thinking about I mean a little prematurely probably, but like I have the 1 month subscription and my plan was to just get a single actual month cuz like absolute worst case scenario, I burn out before the month is up and I've paid for like I mean even at this rate like $15 for the month is pretty fucking good considering I have like 40 hours in it already. So even in that worst case scenario, it's fine. But if I still want to play when my month is up, I don't actually know what my best plan is.
So what I do, the thing that I do is, if I know I want to play WoW, I will do like a 3 month, or if I'm like super committed, even like a 6 month, and immediately cancel my subscription so that it doesn't auto renew on me as soon as I've paid for it.
Yeah. But I also don't know, like, I actually didn't fully look. Maybe I was misunderstanding, because I know Shadowlands is coming out, and there's like the version of that you can get that also comes with a bit of playtime. So I thought like, I don't know, like if I, because I was also looking at like the 6 months, of course, because like, you know that you're saving a chunk of money. It's $3 less a month. It's pretty decent.
Yep.
So like, if I get the 6 months and then Shadowlands comes out, or do I, if there's like a version of Battle for Azeroth which has like playtime included, like, I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out a little, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of
like probably the worst
those...
is going to be if you hit the Battle for Azeroth level and you still want to play, but like Shadowlands isn't out, so you have to.
That's what I
Battle
was
for
thinking
Azeroth.
of.
That's going to be.
Yeah. And I think I mean, if I keep going at this rate, I will.
Kind of a waste of money.
Like, I'll hit it.
Yeah, you'll definitely hit it before Shadowlands is out, for sure. But I would cross that bridge when you get to it and just decide, I'm still enjoying this enough to keep going.
But also,
or if you want to take a break or whatever.
I mean, the law, of course, says that as soon as I buy fucking there won't be any news about Shadowlands, and then I'll finally cave in and buy Battle for Azeroth, and Shadowlands will have a surprise release like a week later.
Yeah. I don't know. The worst is like you re-up your sub, and then like the next day you realize, oh no, I'm done with this game for now.
Oh yeah.
Like, whoops, I'm not having fun currently. Or I need to do something else.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I can, I just want to do some raids. I want to do at least a raid. Because, like, the dungeons seem like kind of whatever. Like, I've just ran through with random groups and...
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean,
it's soft as hell.
They're super soft.
But a raid I would like to do with like
as
friends
long as you
if
have
possible.
a tank and healer that know what they're doing.
I didn't last time.
Yeah.
Kind of. Paul was watching, and that's what he hopped on. He hopped into Discord chat finally after just watching my stream. But he's like, "Your team is beyond stupid." I died 3 times. So the first dungeon I did, no deaths. It went flawlessly. And I warned people that I was super new, never done a dungeon before, didn't know what to expect. They're like, yeah, don't worry. And like I rolled in, I did tank things, I didn't die. Everybody else followed along flawlessly, and it was amazing. Second dungeon, I died like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? And Paul, that's what, like a little after that, Paul hopped in. He's like, "You're doing fine. Your team is just stupid." So that felt good.
Yeah. That is always a thing when you're new and you don't You're not sure
Yeah,
if
like
people are actually dumb or if it's your fault. It's the confidence that comes with experience. If you're going, oh no, this is. I know exactly what's going wrong here.
Someone just told me to hit iron for like my thing that increases my armor, and I'm like, but I was hitting the iron for button. Like, what other button do I press? Yeah, but no, a raid like feels like a. I mean, I have no idea what to expect. Much like a dungeon, I have no idea what to expect, really. Aside from my overly romanticized notions of what a raid is, that no one can stop me from having. My thoughts are my own.
I mean, it depends what kind of raid. Are you talking about like a 10-man raid? Or are you talking like a 5-man raid?
I want to sit down at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, and after one attempt, finish the raid 12 hours later. I want it to be long as hell.
Okay, finishing the raid sounds ambitious to me. I mean, when I was raiding, like weekly, we never finished the full raid, which was like the Wrath of the Lich King. And part of it was like we only had like a regular 7, and we were doing the 10-man, so we were getting randos, and that's unreliable.
Yeah.
And like again, we were doing it casually, but or I would like get in with some other group or something for a 25. But like those groups would never finish. You could do a raid where like you're just super over leveled for it, and you go in and just solo it.
Absolutely slam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. It'd be.
Yeah, there's a raid finder that exists in the game.
We'll see. I'll do a few more dungeons first.
Yeah. I don't know what level raid finder even turns on.
I think I can do it.
But like, is anyone else doing it?
Yeah.
For the lower level ones?
Probably.
Yeah. You only need so many people.
I mean, even on the new player server, like I saw there was a shitload of other people that were my level or lower, so like at every step of the way. And of course, some of those might be alts, or most of those at this point might be alts, but
again, I haven't done a raid in WoW since like 2010 probably, so
yeah.
I don't actually know how it works anymore. Because I did not do any raiding when I was playing during Legion. I did not give a shit.
I don't know. Let's just
care enough to raid.
Let's click a name. Are there any raid names that I recognize? Molten Core. I recognize that one. 40 player. 40 players. That's a lot of players.
Yeah,
dude.
the old.
I don't know that. I don't know that many people.
40. Exactly.
All right, let's see. Does it like I want it to give me like a time frame. Does not give me a time frame, but there are a lot of potential rewards. Yeah. No, it's a thing. So like let's see. Okay. Looks like 40 is like the max. This is the only oh no, there's another 41. Seems like a lot of the original ones were beefier.
Yep.
Yeah, only the original ones are 40, and then the other ones are like there's multiple variants.
Then yeah, they went to 10 and 25 versions or whatever.
Do you think they'd ever like come out with lower versions, even like a 5-man or some shit, or a 6 or something?
I mean, those are just dungeons at that point.
I mean,
It's just literally a dungeon.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's still just like,
Like
my.
you're just doing a heroic dungeon.
I
It's like the same thing.
Okay, so
There are harder versions.
There
of
are
dungeons, yeah.
dungeons that are not just a cakewalk. Okay.
Well, they scale for harder, for better gear.
Sure.
But yeah,
Okay.
and like they're bosses that have patterns.
Patterns. What is this?
Yeah.
A Zelda game?
No.
I do.
They're not all Ganon.
I do like. I mean, my thing that I discovered. Paul mentioned that there's like an end game mount, or like maybe end game isn't the right term, but it's a mount that costs like 1,000,000 gold to just like sink it into, right? Apparently that's I don't know if he like had it wrong or got the number wrong or whatever, if it's just old and they added something super recently, but apparently there's one that's 5 million and it's like a giant fucking brontosaurus that 3 people can ride. So
Nice.
you know what my goal is. People just call it a long boy.
I mean, if you're making that much gold, you can just buy game time, so you don't have to spend money on it.
That
You can just turn
is-
WoW into your job and just play for your playtime.
That is kind of what I mean, I looked at it and I saw it and I considered like I think if I'm
I
playing
think Tony
enough,
was doing that.
yeah, Paul said when he was unemployed and he wanted to play WoW all the time, like I mean at that point, go for it.
Yeah.
For me, my motivation is that I'm paying like double because I can't pay in rubles. So like paying with the tokens would be really nice. But yeah, at that point it's like I think what the feasible thing to do would be is like buy the tokens but save them, and then down the road if I want to play randomly I can use a token instead of dropping cash later, and I can keep the subscription while I'm playing a lot. Something like that.
Sure.
Who knows?
Just hoard things until you don't care about the game anymore. That sounds like you.
What do you mean hoard things until I don't care? What are you referring to? I don't do
Buying
that.
video games you don't care about and not playing them.
Oh. Well, I care about them when I buy them.
Yeah.
Then they stop being new and I don't
and then
care.
you don't play them.
I play some of them. Some of them miss the mark.
And then you play like 5 minutes of XCOM. You're like, no, it's not for me.
Sometimes they just don't hit. Sometimes it's delayed. I bought Borderlands 2 on release day. I pre-ordered it. And I think I played it like an hour and I wasn't in the mood. And then like 3 years later I dropped a fuckload of time into it. So, it happens. I have on that note, I have some disappointing news. Maybe you saw, but not simultaneously a fan of Bannerlord. Also not a game for me, I think.
Oh yeah, Banner Saga.
Or
That
Banner
was the one.
Saga, sorry, but not Bannerlord, Banner Saga.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
tactics
this combat's
combat.
bad.
That tactics combat. And I
That was why I was like, oh, you wouldn't like XCOM maybe then, because you were like tactics combat is bad. Although it's not like the tactics combat in Banner Saga is great. I will say.
XCOM at least like it felt better.
XCOM has more going on for sure.
Yeah. Or at least the way it's set up clicked with me more for how I wanted things to work. I didn't going in, I actually did not know that Banner Saga had tactics combat.
Yeah.
For some
It's
reason
combat.
I thought it was closer to King of Dragon Pass, where it was like
No.
The fighting
It's
kind of
like-
happened off screen, and you got the results after like setting up for it and that sort of shit.
No, it's like Kingdom Dragon Pass, just in that there's like this management
Yeah,
and stuff happens.
and that
and
shit
it's
was great.
Layer to it.
The storytelling, and like keeping track of your supplies and all that. I loved everything, but I'm like, this combat is too much of a main part of this game. I like, it seems like I can only go so long without doing it.
There isn't like a difficulty where to minimize that.
There is
Stuff?
I don't think it doesn't take away the amount, but yeah, it makes it easier. But even on the lowest, like it feels slow and clunky to me.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Yeah.
it's not great.
Yeah.
That's the thing that kept me away from playing that game until I did.
Mm-hmm.
Was I was like everything I read about was like, yeah, this tactics isn't great,
And like,
but
I might,
it's fine.
yeah, I might. It's one of those where like I might pop back in and give it another go, because the story.
Speaking of games that I immediately bounced off of that I've been thinking of giving another shot, Disco Elysium. I've been building up in my mind. Now that I know what that game is, I might be able to play it going in knowing what it is, rather than when I went into it finding its storytelling style incredibly off-putting.
Yeah. I'm impressed with myself that I still actually remember what I was doing in that game. I don't know why, but I'm like, because I haven't played it in ages and I didn't finish it, but I know exactly what I have to do when I get back. I gotta go talk to a dude, and I know where he is, and I know where I am. It's like,
I have to go look at that dead body that's hanging out.
okay, so you got like 2
That's
minutes.
how
in.
not-
you got like 3 minutes into that game, and we're like, this isn't what I thought it was.
Let me see
I
how
can
much
see it.
time did I spend. I spent more than that long with it, honestly. Is there no find on this page? There we go.
I'm in here. We go to Disco Elysium store page. We go to 3 friends.
I
already
played like
own
an
this game.
hour.
You played 1 hour.
I played like an hour.
1 hour.
And I didn't get to the dead body in the
Yeah, it's a
courtyard.
it's a bit.
I spent a lot of time on character creation and
I really like.
exhausting all the conversation elements up in that first
Yeah.
couple areas. Also, I died trying to get my tie.
That's
I
right.
died
Did you fail
trying
that
to
check or
grab my
whatever?
tie. I did,
Fuck yeah. What?
and
what
I
did
had
you...
like no points in strength or
Okay.
stamina, so I took 1 damage and died. I built a glass cannon, and then so that was also playing into my what is this game?
Mhm.
I thought this game was all about talking, and then I went to grab a tie, and I died.
And see, I love that. I don't know.
There's just the thing of having to play as that dude, is
Mhm.
that character model. I didn't love. I
Yeah.
wanted more. I didn't want to have to play as that alcoholic dude. That wasn't.
You kind of. That's like your initial thing, but like you can kind of get out of it a little. You can build it up in a different way. That's just like your starting point. So like, see, I think I passed that check because I put all of my points, not all, but like I went.
I mean, you could just turn off the fan. That also would help.
Yeah. But see, I put points into strength and like whatever, like dexterity sort of equivalent. And then instead of just being like stupid and strong, I did like a. It feels really cool. There's like the thing that's like. I forget what their term is. It's like awareness or something. Like I have this intrinsic knowledge of like the city, and like I have a
Inland
feel
Empire?
like kind of like
Inland Empire, that thing.
yeah like where you
That's
just
the psychic thing.
yeah
You just know stuff.
yeah, and it's really cool. but also I love that I got to a point with my character, and I've been leaning into it where I'm really big and really stupid, and occasionally I just like yell at people to give me money, and they give me money because they feel bad. It's a good time.
It's not the time. I don't know. I can't line it up with like what I want from it. It's like I don't know what kind of character I want to role play based on what like the constraints for what I can role play there. It's like it's so open in a lot of ways, and it's like incredibly restrictive in other ways. Just that I have to be this dude with this face.
You have to be a cop.
Yeah. And that too.
I think even
That I have to be this specific cop. I don't love.
I've leaned into, like, I leaned into the drugs and alcohol. Like, my dude started as an alcoholic, and he's just rolling down that path. I think I actually don't truly know, but I think if you like get away from that and you like try to make yourself a better person, I think it actually like changes your face a little. I mean, you're still playing the dude, of course, but like, he's not ugly. He gets less ugly when you don't make him a raging alcoholic coke addict.
He doesn't have a face that gives you like an existential horror when you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That you have to check that you have to
Yeah,
pass.
you look in the mirror and you like fucking yeah.
I don't know. If like again, if I had a little more control over the character I could play, I definitely would be more. It would be easier for me to get into that game. But like having to play as this alcoholic cop, and I'm like definitely over the alcoholic cop stereotype in fiction. Like I don't need I don't need any more alcoholic cop fiction in my life. Really. I could be good with that.
I'd say if that's your hang up, you should definitely dive back in, because that's totally on you to like.
I mean, my bigger hang up was like
you got really salty that you died trying to get that tie.
No, I didn't. The like initial setup of like not knowing anything.
Okay.
Like the way of, and like that instead of having party members, you have voices in your head. Basically, I didn't like that.
Okay.
I wasn't into it. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted like, because I really like character interaction.
Sure.
And like this like weird interaction with these voices in my head was not giving me what I wanted from a story-based role-playing game.
I really liked. See, for me, I like the character aspect, but like the development. So getting to develop my character, and there's a few times like you still have the voices in your head, of course, and that's because that's like just how they're doing that. But there's like these key moments that like are storytelling, like
yeah, the way the game works of like that is dialogue driven in how the game progresses. Like those are your verbs rather than like I'm gonna shoot everyone or whatever. Like that's like super compelling, but
there's also been like some of the world building stuff, and some of this is because I took the Inland Empire shit. Some of those moments are so fucking good.
There's good stuff in there. It was like I felt completely ungrounded in a way to get me to care. Like I wanted a character I liked.
Gotcha. See,
or felt any connection to. I felt so disconnected from everything about it. Was like I have no connection to this dude. Like I'm not even really this dude. I'm like the voice that inhabits this dude's head. It's like I felt like I've been trapped in this ball of flesh that I didn't want, and I felt like disassociated from it, and it wasn't fun.
See, I got to right early on where you look in the mirror and you like have a crisis. I'm like, sweet, this dude's a piece of shit inside and out. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah. Wasn't into it.
It was just
Wasn't
so.
into. I didn't. I'm spending time with the main character. I don't want to like hate them.
Then make him better. You have to put in the time to improve him.
I'm not like fix your man or whatever. Not here for disco makeover, a cop
Wow.
makeover. RuPaul's cop
You don't.
race.
Wow. You guys heard it here first. Hank doesn't want to deal with people who need to improve. He just wants to deal with improved people. Yeah?
In my like leisure time. Yes. While playing a video game for fun.
How dare you?
Sure.
But helping a recovering alcoholic is fun.
No. It's really not.
Yeah, no, I took a totally different approach to why I like that game, I guess. From the get-go, anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you get the straight, your partner or whatever is like, you know, the straight-faced dude. Just playing it as he should. A law-abiding cop who follows the book, basically. And strives for justice. And then I roll up and, like, me, Ben, is like, I'm gonna do antics.
Yeah. None of that jived with me.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
But I still think there's something to that game. But I don't. I don't know how. I still don't know how I'm gonna find it. Because a lot of it on its face, I just don't like.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it sounds like it's not a matter of finding it. It's a matter of how you tackle it so that you can embrace it, you know?
Yeah, it's like figuring out what character I'm gonna roleplay that I'm actually gonna like. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna have fun with.
Because
It was really
yeah,
the thing.
I think you can pretty. It's not like you spend like I'm only like 14ish hours
Look,
in.
I just think it's you love the fish out of water thing, and I kind of hate it. When he's like, "What is money?" I'm like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
I like fish out of water. I don't like amnesia fish out of water.
Yeah.
Like I also wasn't a fan of like the I don't know what anything
understand the basic concepts of the world.
is. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that, but you get past it fairly quickly.
Well,
Like,
I didn't get. I spent an hour sitting in it, sitting in them, not getting to the plot because I'm like trying to figure out who I'm role playing.
How long did it take you to read The Dangerous Days of Daniel X?
Not very long.
Was it more than an hour?
Probably not.
Wow, fucking guy. Fine, ruin my analogy. Be that way.
That took short. I don't know. I'm a
Took
fast
me-
reader.
It took me more than an hour because I had to stop and throw up so many times.
That's fair. Where you just have to stop and like
Just me leaning
stare
over
at the ceiling and go like,
Yeah, sigh a lot.
how is this okay? How is it
mean-
okay to write a character like this?
I didn't stop and stare so much as I leaned over the toilet and I was like, he ruined elephant.
Well, so again, I'd read the manga first,
Yeah.
so I knew the plot. But what I wasn't prepared for was like the style.
Yeah. That first person. Ugh.
like, oh, Daniel is the worst. The worst.
No, with Disco Elysium, you just put in like 14 hours and then you'll get there.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think honestly, like
I have
another hour I think
Ben, the kind of person I am. Binding of Isaac. I have like 8 hours in that game.
Oh my god, that's you might as well not. Honestly, if you played under 10 hours of Isaac, it's gatekeeping, but you haven't played.
Hey, I played 11 hours of Rebirth. Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, that's fine. Dude, I played like an hour of original Isaac. I hated that game. It controlled like shit.
I played 8.4 hours of original Binding of Isaac. I played like 11 hours of Rebirth.
Original Binding of Isaac is a great concept wrapped up in Flash Player. It's terrible. That game controls like shit.
I played 9.7 hours of Magic Duels, which was the free-to-play Magic game they made before Arena that was bad.
Yeah.
Oh. What'd you say, 18? How many hours did you tell me to put in? I'm trying to see where my cutoff is for actual Steam games that I've played more than that. How few it is.
I mean, I said for Isaac, if you played under 10, you might as well have not played it. Because that game is there's so much there.
No, but you set a number for Disco Elysium for how much I should play.
I said you just need to get in 14 hours and then you're there.
Okay, 14. Let's go. 14 hours is how much I've played Divinity Original Sin 2.
Well, that's skewed.
Yeah. I've played Dead by Daylight more than that. I've played Duck Game more than that. I played Life is Strange. The whole game is about 15 hours. And that was over the course of months. Yeah.
I'm trying to see what...
A bunch of games here.
It's quite a few games, but it feels like not a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to how many games I've played. And like a lot of these are just barely. Like Far Cry 3 was a fucking outstanding game. I have 17 hours. And I beat that game. Like that game's done. I have 14.6 hours in Air Buccaneers. I have 12 hours in Million to One Hero, which is mostly spent on that one level. Yeah. You know, this feels like a podcast.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 hours and change.
I think my most played roguelike is Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, that checks out. That's a good one. That's a good.
Because it's multiplayer. That's why it's the most. The most that, and I never played it single player, basically.
Yeah.
The one that I played the most by myself. Scrolling, Binding of Isaac Rebirth, 11 hours.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's the best one. I think
Slay
objectively.
Spire, 10.8.
Did you ever do Monster Train?
No, I didn't buy it. I was gonna buy it on the Steam sale, and then I didn't. The Steam sale ended.
Yeah. I need to do more Monster Train. God, that game feels fucking good.
It seemed good.
More magic-y.
Again, if roguelikes were more my thing, I would have been all over it. But again,
yeah,
I'm putting like at most 10 hours into one of those, which is like, I mean, if I'm playing a 2D platformer, put 10 hours in, and that's the whole game.
Yeah.
I've gotten everything out of it. And I've gotten like more highs because of that, or whatever.
Yeah.
I got 13.9 hours in Slime Song.
Still need to play that. That looked really good. I watched you play for a little bit.
I love that platformer. There's content in it I haven't done because they released a bunch of extra stuff that I never got to.
Yeah.
Like Pyre is only 11.2 hours. I kind of want to play that again because that has a bunch of variations of
How
the
much
story
time
can
do I
play
have
out.
in Pyre? Because I finally I got far enough into
I've got
it.
12 hours in Warframe.
Let's see.
I've got 11.4 hours in Game of Thrones, a Telltale Games series. It's bad. In case you're wondering.
Dude, where the hell did Pyre go?
Maybe
Where'd you put
play
it?
it on Steam?
I did play it on Steam. Ugh, 3 hours of Undertale. That's 3 hours of my life I can't fucking get back.
That game, 7.9 hours. That whole game.
My condolences. I have 5 hours in Pyre.
The thing is, it's only like that last hour or two that's like fucking amazing. Up
Yeah.
until that, it's kind of whatever. It's really how it ends that makes it great.
Mm.
So, kind
Hellblade
of don't blame
Senua's
you for not
God.
loving it. Up to
Hellblade
then.
Senua's Sacrifice, 7.1 hours, and that is, I think that's still like what, third place in my Game of the Year list for that year. What a fucking good game that was. Oh,
I didn't play it.
it's really good.
I played 5.4 hours of Flint Hook.
I might have to do Hellblade again. I'll probably play it again before the second one comes out. Though I don't understand why they needed to make it. Why there's a second one. Definitely not a game that needed a sequel.
It was very popular, or I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know where they go.
Look.
Yeah, I feel like
The important thing is that I've played more Dota Underlords than I've played GTA 5. So
that's probably
everything's right
good.
with the world.
All right, Hank, take us out of here.
So what happens after you turn into a pillar of salt? You how do you return into a person? How does that story in the Bible go? Where you like recongeal
You just
into
add
like an ooze?
you just add
man.
water, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like one of those toys
add
that's
water.
tiny, and you drop it in a jar of water and it inflates. Like that's basically where we're at.
Sure. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us for the first episode of Fuck It, Let's Just Record, even though I don't fucking know what we're doing.
I mean, it's just code for if I hadn't derailed it, it would have just been a magic episode. It could have been. It's so easy.
But I don't know that okay, that's a
We
lie.
went for half an hour.
I could have kept going with magic about ever. I didn't even talk about this Lorwyn box I have here that definitely doesn't have Lorwyn cards in it.
Don't tell. It's a cliffhanger for next episode.
It's an
so people
elvish
don't-
predation pre-con deck box.
Okay. Yeah, don't let anybody know what's in it. Keep them coming. We'll big reveal in the next episode of Salt Circle.
It's big reveal next episode of Pillar of Salt. Not in your standard Salt Circles.
You're gonna confuse people. They're gonna think it's a different,
Exactly. It's a different
They're gonna
podcast.
think they're on the wrong podcast.
It's gonna have a different logo and everything.
I came here for a circle of salt, not a pillar. Fuck.
I don't want them to confuse this bullshit with us talking about anime or whatever.
This guy. Look at the unbelievable.
Look, I'm just saying, our most popular episode is us talking about anime.
You're worse than an anime. Gotta start 8 different arcs within the
Hell yeah.
overall Salt
Yeah.
Circle saga.
Look, I've read too many comic books. You just start new number ones constantly.
Oh,
That's what you do.
Is our most popular episode the one where we talk about anime?
It's Berserk on
Oh,
Anchor. It's
yeah.
the most played episode.
Now that's taste.
Ugh.
Still one of my regrets. One of the few times where I really, 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 really wish I would have been able to think of a better word. Tasteful was
What?
not the... When I described the scene as tasteful, and in my head, I was like, it's tasteful. Like, it's not like it's sexualized or anything. Like, this is truly a horrible act. Tasteful was the incorrect word for that situation, but my intent was good.
It is not. Look, having seen it, it is not tasteful.
Okay, but it wasn't sexualized is
definitely
what I'm
cool.
saying. Like, it wasn't like... It wasn't a fucking anime where it's like just hentai screams and tentacle. It's not Food Wars, okay? It's not Food Wars and she's eating a bad peanut butter dish. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but that's comedic.
That's what it's... Okay, there's two sides to anime. There's comedic and there's fan service. This was neither. They weren't trying to make it
was
fan
gross
service.
violence.
Yeah. So I'm saying my intent was good. My word choice
No.
was abysmal.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
You should have just said it. It's bad.
It's not
Your
bad,
mistake was
though.
trying to defend it. It is. It
Bad
is.
in what way? Like, bad as in shouldn't exist? That sort of bad?
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't think it's... I think it's bad. I think it's bad.
I mean, I don't like it
Frankly.
either. But I don't like it for what it is, you know? Okay, I think I very, very carefully. Obviously, it's a horrible thing. I like it in the context because it made me feel things.
It didn't make me feel things.
Well, see, that's not my problem.
It just made me mad. It's like, this is terrible. It's gross.
I watch when shit starts sliding downhill in like the last like 4 episodes or whatever, and I just couldn't stop. Like, I just was at work the next day just absolutely soul crushed. Like, it fucked me up for a whole day. There's not a lot of media that does that to me. So in that regard, it's like when Ani's little brother asked me if I like sad movies, and he asked why, or I said yes, and he asked why, and I'm like, because they make me sad. And he's like, well, why would you want to feel sad? I'm like, because I like to feel. I like, you know.
If you want to feel sad, I've got a
No.
4-hour
You know.
Chinese movie for you.
No, I'm good. Good. I feel too sad right now. I need
Yeah, I feel you.
at least like.
It's not. I'm just tired. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
so
it's a depressed sad. It's like I'm not actually sad, but I'm not anything else either.
What
So
about
here we
4
are.
hours of depression and anxiety?
See, that's why I'm playing World of Warcraft.
And there's one joke. There's one joke. It's a good joke.
Oh boy.
It's a good bit. It's very funny. One.
Just one.
Yeah.
No, this is why I play WoW. The grind takes my mind off of the sad times. If I fill myself with World of Warcraft, then I can't be filled with tiredness. Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm saying is 3 of our top 10 most listened to episodes are anime. 3 of them are magic.
So
And
weird.
2 of them are Star Wars.
I mean, what are you got some numbers? Roughly?
Yeah, so we've got Berserk,
Yeah.
number 1, 81 plays
Oh.
on and all these numbers. Like, again, we lost all the. This is ignoring The ones on these older episodes are weird because it's also ignoring all the SoundCloud numbers, which were
Yeah.
bigger on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Star Wars Comics Part 2 is the second most played. 57. Magic the Gathering Arena, episode 28, is the next most played. Then we got Digimon Tamers. Then we got Othello.
Othello
Then we
was
got
a good
Perfume, the story of a murderer.
one. Yeah, bud. Othello still takes place on a boat. Nobody can take that from me.
Then we got more Magic the Gathering Arena talk. Then we got Star Wars prequel trilogy episode. Digimon Adventure 02. And another Magic episode.
Okay. Interesting. As I recall, the again skewed numbers because SoundCloud. The Ben goes to a football game. That one was really popular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Back on the
extra
SoundCloud
weird.
days.
I don't know. I find that one to be odd. Anyway, third time's the charm. Hank, we need to
What?
we need to sign off.
No, we always
Hank.
turn around.
Turn around and
Oh
do
yeah,
what?
Perfume Story of a Murder is one of like the 2 episodes that's still up on SoundCloud because it only lets you keep 2 live, and that has like 100 plays there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, come on, do the sign us.
No, I'm not doing outros. I'm just gonna cut.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Harsh. Did you already cut? Wow. Fine. I'll cut too.